Hello YouTube, welcome back to a brand new video. This is the America First Pill channel. I want to talk a little about the podcasting. As alternative media declines, as mainstream media gets less credible, as it's just nothing but fake news and propaganda, doesn't inform people, only causes fear and whatever, as media becomes more of a thing, people are getting their information more from different alternative, which is large of it's on YouTube. A lot of podcasting, people listen to the car or on YouTube. The right seems to be dominating the more podcasting side of things. There's some on the left, but I don't think the left is has gotten close to being able to master the podcasting the way the right has. Because, well, the left doesn't really need the podcasting right now because they own the MSM. So is podcasting becoming a problem too, where now it's starting to become what we hated about the MSM, where there's a lot of clickbait, a lot of grifting, a lot of pandering to an audience rather than giving the full truth. I do think the ones I'm talking about, for example, I think you know who the main people on the right are. I think I still trust them more than the MSM, which isn't hard to do. But these are the ones I can think of. You have Tucker Carlson, Steven Crowder, Megyn Kelly. You have Michael Knowles, Ben Shapiro, Joe Rogan. Can't believe I'm saying his name, but Nick Fuentes. Even though he's on Rumble, he has a pretty big following too. I know Crowder and Tucker both have around 5 million plus. Shapiro has like 7 million. Kelly has a 4 million plus. So they have big followings, and they're growing, for example. So what is going on? And it seems to me, and I'm getting this vibe, and right now there's too much paranoia with this whole conflict that everyone's kind of pointing fingers at each other, and they're snapping at each other, and that's, I guess, normal in a conflict like this, but that it's not healthy, and it's dangerous if we don't kind of come together soon. I think a lot of it all depends if Congress gets their act together and gets things done. Get Trump's agenda codified. That's the only way we can unite back together. Because I'm sure if we can do that, you're going to unite some of the people back. But right now, Congress hates, particularly the Republicans are weak. They're either weak or they hate Trump so much they just can't help themselves to not win with Trump. And you have the left who hate America and just want to destroy it. So, the identity of what we are. So my main concern of the podcasters right now is that there seems to be this, and this is a guilty. When you get popular, it's easy to get full of yourself. You get this mindset that you can never be wrong. You get prone to it, and that's all of them. They all have to be humbled that they're, and I think if you look, and I think because of MSM being so credible, mainstream media being so uncredible, you have to be giving an effort to actually go get the truth. So yeah, it takes more work than it used to have been. So sometimes you have to watch all of them to get all the angles about what's going on. I'm sure Tucker gets a lot of things right. Crowder gets a lot of things right. Don't always want to say Shapiro because I think Shapiro is very out of touch, but I'm sure there's things you can say he's right on if you look at him as a whole, right? You have Megyn Kelly. If you look at Richard Barris, he's more of a pollster, but he does kind of political commentating as well, explaining some of the problems. So there's a lot of that out there. And right now, because of the divide in the right now, and I'm not sure where it's coming from, I think a lot of it's a psyop by the I think it's literally being, I think a lot of it's foreign bots and deep state op, particularly from the neocon establishment trying to fracture the conservative movement. They're trying to weed out the big tent that Trump built and trying to build this more Bush coalition back again. And why? Why would you want to go back to that type of a vision? I just don't get it. It's not winnable. It's unpopular. Why? Because let's face it, even if Trump succeeds in Iran, and let's say Iran does collapse, they still will hate Trump. That's how sad that this predicament. And that's what the goal is, to go back to business as usual after Trump leaves. And I think the reason they're doing the psyop so we don't notice it. For United, we're going to notice. Now, it seems the divide among the right now seems to be over some way to approach foreign policy and Israel, which that's stupid. I made a video about that yesterday, about this obsession with Israel's unhealthy. You know, your whole voting decision should not be how pro or anti-Israel you are on either side. So if you're a conservative, who cares what their position on Israel is? That's not what we voted for. We voted for what's best for America. Okay? Now, foreign policy, that's still the divide. And I think America has moved away from what you call the endless war side of the aisle. Even the boomers, which everyone likes to take shots at a lot, have moved away from that. But it seems to me you have what you would call the extreme interventionist side, which is always focusing on foreign and not much domestically, which I kind of consider the neocon establishment. We have to spread democracy, and we have to, get into every conflict. That's where I think America is turning against. But you also have the non-interventionist, which I think is what Trump is supposed to be, where we only intervene if it's absolutely necessary to benefit America. Ukraine didn't. He believes this what Iran does. So, and what Venezuela, he believed that was a benefit to America. So you could say it's more America first foreign policy. It's intervention, but it's America first, while neocon foreign intervention is not America first. And then you have what you call the isolationist wing, where they kind of want little involvement. They kind of just want to focus on the domestically and not really be involved. And that's where I feel like people like Tucker where I feel like commentators, other people are, why they're upset with Tucker right now is because they think Tucker's way of isolationism is making us weak and not strong. And here's my thing. I think you can have a strong defense, but also, having a strong military, but use your military more domestically and more in your hemisphere, and not just deploying them for no reason. In some ways, I actually, as well. So I just think isolationist seems to be wanting to stay out of wars at all costs, which that's where I think this divide is coming from, because people believe that sometimes you have to do it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So sometimes we don't have a choice. Now, what I'm upset with these podcasters right now is because I feel like they're trying to turn some podcasters against the other podcaster using kind of emotional manipulation so you don't listen to them. Like Gerald today. He's with Steven Crowder's show. I think Gerald's the owner of Crowder's company. I believe that's a lot of times if you watch his show, he's on the show talking with Crowder. They have an actual live discussion about the topic they're talking about. And they all got unhinged because they accused Tucker of spreading CCP propaganda. again, manipulating their audience to say things that Tucker never said. And I don't see how that's CCP propaganda, but it sounds to me, if you come off anything but hating China, which I hate China, but if you go out of a way that's not in what they view, in their way of being anti-China, they call you a CCP propaganda, they call you an Iran, or they call you an Iran spy or an intelligence, you're working for Iranians or Qatar or whatever. It's like a Russian, which is kind of getting pointless at this point, and they're concerned, why does he always side with the dictators? Or I mean, hate to say it, but I do agree that Trump is trying to help us with being able to match China or be ahead of China. I think Trump is trying to weaken China. That involvement in Venezuela was trying to weaken China. If you look at the whole piece, but I mean, China's hard to control. China doesn't like competition. They want to be a monopoly. So I don't know. Can the United States ever catch up to them? I don't know. I hope we can. But Tucker, I thought, made a good point. Would it be good to try to have a good relationship with these, what we call dictatorships, and try to see if we can share power a little bit? I don't know. I mean, China and USA are both big powers, but China's harder to constrain. That's what I think they were trying to say. So I don't know. But either way, why keep attacking people for having a different perspective? And I think what we need going forward is, if you think one commentator is wrong, why don't you give solutions? Give solutions, all of them. It's easy to say the other guy's wrong. No, that's a wrong take. Well, give solutions. So, for example, Tucker seemed to say that we shouldn't do anything about what if China takes Taiwan. Well, okay. Well, it's harder to do that because we did it to Venezuela. So what it shows is countries will enact on their interests. Some will argue that China doing that to Taiwan is not in our interest. It impacts us. So, okay, what's the solution? What, you're going to send ground troops and invade China to stop them from doing that? Or is it more wars? Like, what's the solution? Like these commentators are so filled with bright ideas, but it's like all they want to do is just get mad because someone has a different perspective right now. Like it seems like there's no freedom right now to have another perspective without getting scorched by another person on the right. And because of it, it's causing some people on the right to not listen to the other guy. Oh, that guy is a propagandist. Oh, he's lying. I'm not liking what I'm seeing right now. And, it's... So we needed to rant a little bit about that, because it's just, this needs to get fixed. We need to... We need to get our identity back, because we can't beat the left this way. We can't beat the left this divided like this. So if Tucker and Ben Shapiro are not the ones who should lead the party, because then who should? And if you're upset with how they interview, well, why don't you do it? Crowder, you're pretty good at interviewing people. Why don't you get Joe Kent on? Even if you don't hate his guts right now, why don't you have him come on and give his side of the story? Maybe there's something they're missing. But nope, nobody wants to hear, oh, he's a liar. Oh, he's a traitor. I mean, he's literally the counterterrorism that literally said that, yes, they are a terrorist organization that sponsors terrorism. But because he said just because he hinted that they're not a big threat, they're all outraged by it. So, I don't know. We have to be able to tolerate people who disagree. And I don't feel there's much tolerance right now with it right now. And because of it, I feel like I'm being canceled. Like right now, that's why I'm kind of don't know what I believe right now on this movement, because I feel like I'm being removed from it. Look, I'm anti-war, very anti-war policy. I'm a little bit more isolationist, but maybe it's not realistic. So, it's, and the war wasn't the biggest issue of me voting for Trump. The things I care about as an American is protecting our jobs and getting the people protecting our culture. That means mass deportations, getting people who shouldn't be in this country, conserving our culture. That's what I care about as an American. So and that's all I have. But like, I'm just disappointed with our own right now, and we should not be turning against each other over one issue. So anyway, that's all I have for now. I just needed to let that out. But my question of the day: what has podcasting become a problem? Has it become a problem for the right now? Is it? And what are your solutions? What's the solutions to all this that we're seeing right now in the divide with the right? So anyway, that's all I have for today. Again, and if you like the channel, please subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. The America First Pill channel out.